Hey, Assalamu alaikum. What's going on? So, in the previous video, we have talked about variables and data types. We learned how to store data types into a named variable, okay, into a named memory location. So, in this tutorial, first we are going to talk about comments. What are comments in programming, and then we move toward the arrays or lists, okay. So, first let's start with comments. So comments are just nodes in your program. These are completely ignored by the compiler, okay. These are just to tell the reader that what's going on, or for your own reminder, okay, that what is going on in the program. Here we are telling a single line comment. We are making a single line comment that is telling the reader that we are printing a hello world here, okay. Anything after a hash will be consumed as single line comment by the compiler. So let's run it and check. Okay, so it just prints hello world and it completely ignores the first line, okay, because this is an comment, this is a comment, okay. Compiler does read it. So that was how single line comments work, okay. If now we move toward the other line, we will see this is not a comment, okay. This will be a statement. If you write it wrong, it will give an syntax or runtime error. Now let's talk about multi-line comments. How can we give comments in multi-lines, okay. So these are comments with, as you learned, that we can print multi-line string or multi-line text on the screen by using triple quotes on both sides, okay, triple quotation marks on both sides. Same is for multi-line comments. Use three quotation marks on this side and three on this side, and anything between them will be a multi-line comment, like we are learning Python, okay. So we are learning Python, subscribe and share, okay. So this is a multi-line comment. As you can see, still it will get ignored by the compiler. Still it prints hello world, nothing else, okay. That was how comments work. Comments are just used to make your code on. Now let's start with the arrays. So let's talk about arrays. What is an array, okay. An array is a container that can store multiple data of same type, okay. A container that can store multiple data but of same type means in one array you can store hundred of integers, but all of them should be integers, their data type should be same. So let's assume array. Now first consider, we want to make a program for a university, okay. We want all of their classes, first their class, then the students in this class. Maybe there can be more sections in one class, okay. So for that you should have to write somehow like this. If you made variable name like class 1 section 1 student 1 is equal to John, okay. So then copy it and paste here, change these to it to 2, section is still 1, student is 2, mark, okay. Now what if there are 100 or even thousand of students and thousands of classes in in one school or university, 100 of classes, 100 of sections. So this may take an eternity, okay. This will take so long. That's where we use arrays or lists. So let's make our college data is equal to an array, okay. Arrays start with a square bracket and end with square brackets, okay. So let's make it like this. Now here you can make you can give some data, okay, like John Smith, Mark, Henry, and so on, okay. So you can give that much data in only one variable, which is an array, okay. So you don't have to write a separate variable name for it. That's how arrays or lists works, okay. So now let's print our college data. So as you can see here, we get John, Smith, Mark, Henry, the names we stored in this array, okay. So what if we want them each at a time. Okay, we want each at a time. We don't want them in a list like this. Okay, starting with square brackets containing quotation marks and commas. So we will use for loop in this college data array. So for I less, this I is a temporary variable. Okay, this will store the data in college data variable one by one. First it will get first data, then second, then third, then fourth. Okay, for loop will execute inside it. So for I in, using in keyword, college data. So for I in college data, then we will print I, the temporary variable. Now let's run it. As you can see, we get it line by line: John, Smith, Mark, Henry. So what's going on here? The for loop will start in college data. Okay, then I, which is our temporary variable, first it will get this value, which is John, print it in terminal, then loop will go back because all of these are not complete yet. So then it will move toward the next, which is Smith, then I will store the Smith in it, then it will print Smith, then Mark, then again here marks, and then loop will be executed at last time. It will get Henry and it will print Henry on the terminal. Okay, so that how arrays work. So you can store multiple data in arrays. Now there are some other arrays like tuples, dictionaries, and sets. This was a list array. Okay, so there can be nested arrays. Okay, an array inside an array, you can say them like this, or two-dimensional array. Usually we call them two-dimensional or multi-dimensional array. So this is an array. Now inside an array, we want to first we want to make the list or the data for the first class. Okay, first year. So let's say John, Mark, Tom, Smith, Henry. Okay, so these students are in first year. Now comma, another array inside an array. Okay, so this will be for the second year. You can give any Tom, and then now you can give it like Tom Cruise, whatever. Here you can say John Doe, and so on. Okay, so now let's make the last one for third year. Here you can say Simba and Bruce and Tony. Okay, so whatever that is, just an example. Now let's see what happen if we print college data. So it gives us this ugly list, like an array inside an array and another array, like that. Okay, so we want it separate. First we want the college data, first year students, then second year, and then third year students. Okay, so clear it. Now again using for loop. So for I in college data. Okay, we will print I. Now you may be guessing that first it will give us John, then Mark, then Tom, Smith, Henry, then it will give Tom Cruise, then all separate, but it is not going to happen like that. Let's see. So it gives us first this array, then this array, and then this array separate with the brackets and all the stuff. Okay, so what's going on here? First, our for loop will get executed in this main array, which is outer array. Then it will get this one. Okay, this array. I will store this array, not these separates. First it will store this array, then it will print it, then it will come to this array, and then it will print this one, then this one, not the data inside them each separate. Okay, so what if we want to get that data one by one? We don't want to get this, then we will use nested for loops. Okay, the for loop inside another for loop. So first for I in college data, then we will use for j in I. Okay, no, when this loop will be executed, I will be an array, not a separate string. Okay, because this will get this array. I is an array currently. So for j in I, we will use j variable in I array, and then we will print j. Let's run it. Okay, here we get them separate. Okay, John, Mark. Now what's going on here? First, for I in college data, I will get this array, then the flow will come in this inner loop. Okay, first this one will executed one, then this inner loop will be executed. Okay, second. So for j in array I, so what is I now? I is this array, j will be executed and repeated in this array. So first j will get I, j will get John, sorry, then j will get Mark, then Tom, then Smith, then Henry. Now inner loop is now completed. Okay, now this inner loop is completed, then flow will go back to outer loop, then outer loop will come to this one. Now I is this array. Okay, then j will be executed in this I array. Okay, then it will print j, and you got the point. Okay, that's how nested loop works. If you don't understand anything, feel free to ask in comments. Okay, so that was introduction to comments and then arrays and how to get the values inside them and store data. Now you can store 100 or 1000 of arrays inside arrays, and maybe more arrays inside those arrays. Okay, it depends on the complexity of your program. So in the next tutorial we will talk about we'll talk about in more details about arrays, like types of arrays, lists. Okay, remember these was lists. Okay, anything inside curly brackets are lists. We will learn how to update the values in them. Okay, how to delete value in them, and much more, and other array types like tuples, sets, and dictionaries. But for now this much is okay. So okay, let's meet you in the next tutorial.